everybody, welcome back to Friday Night Football with me, Conor. A little sequel on Joe's Monday Night Football, which we've been doing now for 2 or 3 weeks. Hope you're all tuning in, hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'm here to read out your comments on my video, Oscar's video, and Joe's video. So we're going to start from the latest comment, and we're going to look at Shark Ram 27. Agree 100%. We need to see a reaction even with our current injuries. It's going to be a very tough game on Saturday. We know they will play with 5 at the back. Personally, I would go with Huffer, Douglas, Cooper, Phillips, Shaq, Forshaw, holding mid, Saiz, Click, then a left wing Alioski, Pablo on right and Roof up top, 3-1 Leeds. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It probably leads me on quite nicely to Leeds' sort of nightmare situation, really. I mean, I said it to Joe as well, we must be the most unluckiest club. You know, we start to get a little bit of momentum, start to get a little bit of good things coming, good tidings and all that, with the Christmas schedule coming up and all this sort of stuff, and then you get hit with just, I mean, I said it in my preview as well, you know, it's like when we found out about Hernandez, we just couldn't believe it, could we? It was a 6-7 week job, and we were just like, Jesus Christ, I mean, where has that come from? And, you know, they're looking at Jansen, been out for 1 or 2 weeks now, and, you know, Bailey Peacock foul with a knee injury, which knee injuries are sometimes quite niggly. I used to have them when I used to play football, quite difficult to shake off, so we'll have to see how he goes with that one. But, yes, Shark Ram, I mean, you just put at the end, just hope we can protect young Huffer or Maziak and go from set pieces or undue pressure at the end. It's a really good point, mate. I mean, it really is an absolute fire to just put them in to this starting lineup in a championship game. We did it with Bailey, but every single player last season when Bailey was put in was underperforming, really. So he really sort of shone, didn't it? It was a little bit easy for Bailey as well, but, you know, they're coming into a really good Leeds side, Maziak and Huffer, and they're only young and they've not really had a taste of it like Blackman did. Yeah, and it's tough. It's a really tough thing. I mean, you got the emergency loan, which we could look into the emergency loan, but I mean, what sort of? I mean, Bond's been rumoured at West Bromwich Albion, but what sort of quality of player are you going to get? And it's a really tough one, and it goes back to the old argument, doesn't it? And I think a few of us have said it, Leeds fans. I'm not sure you can do this league with a 22-man squad. My personal point of view, anyway. Let's move on. Defcon, totally agree, mate. 4-1 defeats are not what we want. Other teams have seen this. We've got to show we intend to respond. Can't wait for Bamford to be back. He can link up with Roof. Yeah, that just alludes to my point where I was saying that Leeds need to have a reaction. Thanks for your comment again, Defcon. And yeah, 100%, mate. I mean, see Bamford's goal. Woo, what a finish that was. Jesus Christ, in training. Loved that thing with Bielsa. It was a little bit of shine on what's been a really shitty 2 weeks. It was really nice to see that there's camaraderie still in the camp, and, you know, you've got some quality players coming back into that squad. Jaggy Babs, Shaughnessy needs to go. He's easily the worst player in the whole squad. Pure liability. We gave him a chance at professional level and he's nowhere near the standard needed. Yeah, I mean, I think this was alluding to sort of my response to Oscar when he was talking about Shaughnessy maybe coming into the squad and him being a next level player. I've never been convinced by Shaughnessy. He always looks neat and tidy every now and again on the ball. For me, he's not confident. He's not got enough finesse at the back. He's not strong. I just don't think he's a centre-back. And for a man who's 6'5", I think he's pretty poor in the air as well. Physically, he's not there. And I just don't think he's at that level. I'd probably rather start Apo Ham. I really would. I do not rate Shaughnessy, and I never have done. Supernatural, looking fresh, mate. Thanks, mate. I think Cooper, Phillips, Douglas, Shackleton back 4, then Alioski rotate with Barry, swap over, Forshaw in front, Saiz in front, then Hernandez, Baker, blah blah blah. Yeah, 100%, mate. I understand what you're saying there. Nah, it's a good comment, mate. I'm just trying to figure out what you're trying to say. We need more, way more if he wants to go. Yeah, essentially, holistically, when you're looking at that comment, he's basically saying that we need more, and I completely agree with you, Supernatural. We do need more. And hopefully that will be something that we'll look at in January. But once again, we know he won't do it. I just genuinely don't think he'll do it. I just don't think he's got so much loyalty on the players, and he'll be looking at the players coming back. I saw one comment that said, yeah, but all the players will be back by January. Doesn't mean they'll be match fit by January. You know, you're getting the likes of Berardi and Ayling, and it still takes them a while on top of that to get match fit. So they're not just going to be ready on January 1st, guys. So, you know, that whole, You know, I don't get that. Well, they're going to be back in January, the players. Well, they might be back in January, but it might take 2 or 3 weeks to get them up to speed. It's not good enough. We've got 3 massive games coming up. These next 2 games are must-wins. They are must-wins. We cannot lose. That would be tragic. But I don't think draws are enough. If we want to keep within those top 2, sort of the top 6 actually, you know, in the next week, Leeds could find themselves 7th or 8th. So we need to get the consistency back into the squad. We need to get the consistency back into the playing, and something needs to change. And I think if we don't bring anything in January, we've seen it under the Monk era when we didn't. We had a thin squad then, and it was bigger than this squad now. But we had a thin squad then, and if we don't invest, then it's not the fact that Bielsa's a bad manager, because he's not. We've seen how superb he is, but you know, he's under the impression that a workman can't blame his tools, and we all understand that, because he won't do that, and that's fantastic. But at the end of the day, you've got to have the tools to play around with, haven't you? And he doesn't have enough. There's not enough assets in that squad at the minute. There's not enough firepower. There's not enough depth in each position as well. We're looking to the kids a lot, and it's you know, it's a big step up for them from the 23s and the 18s to the first team. So Gary Keith, I'm going for a 4-4-2 or a 3-1-4-2 formation if all fit, which we know they're not. Get Shackleton on at right back, Cooper centre back, Douglas left back. Yeah, to be honest, mate, I'm looking at starting a 4-1-4-1. I'm looking for, I think it's more likely for Huffer to start in net, Will Huffer. And then you got Dallas, Coops and Phillips and then Douglas at the back. That's as the back 4. Then just in front you're going to have Forshaw, who's going to take over Phillips's role. In front of them you're going to have to put Saiz back in, so maybe like Saiz and Click. And then on the left hand side, Alioski, right hand side Pablo, and up front Roof. I think that's the best of what we're looking at in this game. I think I wouldn't say go to a back 3 or go to sort of like a 4. I don't know really. 4-4-2. I think 4-4-2 is just a bit rigid for how we play. We play so fluidly and freely. I think that's just a little bit too rigid for us. But yeah, I understand what you mean, mate. And I think that if we start 4-1-4-1, that's going to be our best hope. And if we just keep control of the game, keep calm. But the thing is, what people are missing out is Bristol City have got a decent team, as Joe alluded to on his video. You know, Andres Weimann's coming back into the fold. They've got good attacking players going forward. So, you know, if you like, you got Apo Harm, who's injured all the time. Is Bielsa going to want to stick him in? Apparently, he's a very good player, but he's always injured. So, is he going to come back in and then get injured? And then we're going to have to. It's constant, isn't it, at the minute? And I think it's definitely a mixture of the intensity of the training, but I also think, I mean, mixing that with a super thin squad at the start. We all had worries at the start, didn't we? And it looks like at the minute, all those worries are coming to fruition. Andrew O'Connor would agree with a 1-1 draw. I think the next 2-3 games will define the rest of the season. The normal Leeds bad luck with injuries is also causing us problems, leaving us with so few options now when things go wrong. Exactly, I think it's crucial to have firepower off the bench. I think that's crucial in this league because players get tired. You know, the schedule, Saturday, Tuesday. We're getting back into that now. We had a little break from that, didn't we? It was like Saturday, or Sunday, Saturday. It's changed a little bit now. It's going to be Saturday, Tuesday, or Saturday, Wednesday. And it's intense. It's intense. It's an intense period. And it's only going to get harder because other teams are going to be investing in January as well. Their players are going to be coming back from, you know, like Andres Weimman hasn't been playing, but he's coming straight back into the fold this weekend. And, you know, it could be a real thorn for Leeds, that. But players are coming back for other teams, and Leeds just aren't in that position at the minute. I really think this weekend's going to be a real struggle. Just because there's so much change in the squad now. Success is built on consistency, and we're really struggling at the minute to get that within the squad. You look at the Gary Monk era when we had Bartley, Jansen, Charlie Taylor, and then we had Ayling as a back 4 consistently throughout the season. And that's how good were we defensively. We were the best defensive team in the league, statistically. So, you know, you maintain consistency within a squad, and it proves successful at the end. It pays dividends. Stuart Cundle, great video as always. I'll buy you a beer over Christmas at Leeds. Cheers, Stuart. I'll take you up on that, mate. Antita Talist, sorry if I've not pronounced that well. So you would prefer a defence with Alioski, Cooper and Dallas. Wow, we really are in big trouble. Getting to January within the reach of the top 6 seems to be the benchmark at this rate. Yeah, well, if you've got any other suggestions, mate, then leave it in the comment section below. That's, you've got to switch it up. And when I was talking about Douglas going in a back three, he's done it at Wolves before, so you know you can't knock it until you try it. Is it better than having an 18-year-old kid there who is consistently injured? He's injury prone. Is it better than having a centre midfielder in Calvin Phillips who's what, 5'10", in a rigid 4-4-2 or 4-1-4-1 formation where he's part of a back two, where he's having to knock the headers out, he's having to do this? Is it better to have just a flat back three? I'm not 100% sure, but Douglas has played there before, so he's done it before, and Alioski has actually been playing really well left wing back. And then if we can also incorporate Jack Clark in as left wing, I don't think Bielsa will do this, but it's a different system, it's a different way of looking at it, isn't it? GZH, had your ears lowers, looking sharp, thank you. Mal Reed, best have a rethink, bud. No Jansen or Peacock Farrell. Our small squad is about to be tested. Yeah, 100% on that. Miles A, I'm feeling that haircut, man. It's just turning into a bit of, I'm blushing, guys. Thank you so much, I'm blushing. Lloyd Gittins, a must-win game, simple. Agree with you there, Lloyd, 100%, mate. Antina Talist, once again, on the last comment. I go for a draw if we are lucky. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, agree with you guys. Philip Millen, always try and be positive for the Mighty Whites, but it's becoming a genuine issue for Leeds at the minute with what the injuries. We battered Derby and Norwich at the beginning of the season, but would not surprise me if both those sides finish above us because of their depth over the course of the season. In a one-off game, Leeds with a full 11 will be a match for anyone, but we've seen it in the past that Leeds squad depth has cost them. Do you know what, mate? That's a really good comment, Philip. You've always got to be positive, haven't you? And I feel like we do that on this channel. There's a nice little balance, and we try to maintain positive. But we're also going to be real with you guys. And me at the minute, it is a genuine issue. It's a huge issue. It's more than a genuine one, mate. I think it's a colossal issue. And it could cause us promotion, and it could, because the next 4 or 5 games, you know, if Leeds are going on a similar run to what they've been on, taking out the anomaly of the Wigan game, then we really could be in for a tough January, February. We've got some tough games coming up, and if we haven't got the squad depth, then you know it's all well and good being positive, but you got to be realistic as well. And I feel like a lot of people sort of, it's you know 3-0, 4-0 predictions. You've really got to take a step back and look at the squad. Look at what we're dealing with, and you know you're going up against teams, you know, like he said, like Norwich and Derby, who've strengthened in depth. They've got strength in depth. Derby, in particular, you know, Wilson comes out, then you can put Mason Bennett in the midfield as well. They've got that structured two, haven't they, just in front of the defence, which is always alternating round. Huddleston been pivotal in that too, but it's always rotating, and they've got the depth to be able to do that because they've invested, and that's the difference. But you know, if we go out in January and buy those players, then you got nothing to moan about. Joseph Tiffany, Bielsa says no to players because he believes we have a good enough players in our squad already, which I am all in for him believing too. I'm excited to see what Bielsa does with the team. In the past I would have been shitting myself with the injuries we have. Bielsa has not only taught the players to love football, but as fans we now love the games as much as he does. Yeah, great comment, mate, once again. Cheers, Joseph, for that one. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Bielsa is making us play football, and whoever comes in and whoever is within the system in the next 2 or 3 games, I think Leeds will still look brilliant, will still look fantastic. The only worrying thing for me is the cutting edge. It's the critical nature we can put teams away. Have we still got that with the injuries out? And are we able to be defensively and offensively astute with the lack of quality? That will be my point to that comment, mate. Sharkram, majority of us knew that our squad was too small for a tough season in the Championship, but Bielsa will take a lot of the flack, and rightly so, fall away come the end of the season. Yeah, I get that, Sharkram. I'm not going to read all your comment. I know you've just said that you're not slating him too much, and I completely agree. You know, he will take the flack, and you can criticise anyone, can't you? Everyone is up for criticism, especially if you fail ultimately. But you know, we're in a good position at the minute, and let's just see how the next 2 or 3 games pan out. We could be in a positive state. We could be back within the top 2 if we get 7 out of the next 9 points. But you know, as well, we could get 3 out of the next 9 or 1 out of the next 9. It could work that way as well. So let's just wait and see. Freddie O'Neill, solid video. I'm same as you in that I don't want Dallas at full back. Can't make a judgment about centre back, right back, goalkeeper because I don't watch the under 23s. Yeah, that's probably where I disagree with Joe in a sense of the Dallas thing. I don't want to see him there, but with the likes of, if he's not going to play Phillips there, which I don't think he will, and he brings someone like Apo Harmon or Diaz, there needs to be experience alongside those kids, because it's way too young, and they need someone. I think they're going to need a pro in beside them, someone with a little bit of experience. I don't think you could chuck like, for example, a Robbie Gotts or a Shackleton. Gotts I've been calling for weeks and weeks now, but I think you've got to have an experienced head alongside him. I don't think you can chuck a Gotts or a Shackleton in alongside an Apoham or a Diaz. I just think it's a recipe for disaster, especially against a good offensive squad. DEFCON again, we'll be interested to see who plays and how we go on, but players dropping like 9 pins, it's showing the weakness in our squad. Yep. Harry Burns, I agree, Joe, mate, we are literally cursed. For the first time this season, I'm a little nervous. I'm going Saturday, but it's a must-win game. Very nervous. I think we all are, Harry. It's a good comment, mate. It's a good way of being. It really is tough at the minute, isn't it? But we've just got to see what Saturday brings. But I think we've just seen it, haven't we? We've seen the sort of blueprint over the last 5 or 6 weeks, like I've said in the previous video. Millwall, Brentford, Blackburn, etc., etc. Birmingham. Forest, I think we've seen it, haven't we? We've seen teams are able to figure us out, and we know Bristol City are going to go to a back five, so are we going to be able to break that down, and are we going to be defensively strong enough to stop the counter-attack and stop Bristol City getting forward in numbers? Are we going to see that? And Bristol City haven't won in 3 as well, so we really should be taking the game to them. Steve, I hate international break, same as last time, decent squad beforehand, come back, half the team injured, we are struggling now. Yeah, it's a good point. GZH, we've had far worse squad with similar problems and still got results. I expect a game full of goals, with us winning by the odd goal in 3 or 5. Pretty ambitious there, mate. I think it's going to be a tight game myself. And the last 3 comments of the videos, guys. I'm moving on to Ethan Watt, who's a regular commenter on the channel. I completely agree with your starting 11. I think defence will be a bit shaky, but I think we will dominate this game. Bristol City aren't the side there was last year, but they still have lots of quality in the squad. I think midfield-wise, it's One and Samu needs to come in. He showed us what Forshaw doesn't have, even though he's quality. The only thing I'll disagree with is the back 4. Bielsa like his side to have one more CB than the other team's attackers, and Bristol City have 2 up front, so I think Forshaw will play in that role that KP plays in. Considering we're in a state at the back, I'm off with a 3-1 win, big comeback. If we win it, I think it's just going to be us outscoring them, isn't it? Because I think defensively we could be a bit shaky this game with all the players out. But yeah, it's one definitely to look at. Jeezy again, great post, LUTV chat via candlelight. Yeah, Oscar needs to sort that background out, doesn't he? I mean, I'm in Australia. I've sorted it all out. I've got this, I've got my LED light, and then Oscar's. I mean, what is he doing there? It looks like he's in a shed. Mark K, nice vid, mate. Sort your lighting out next time, though. It'll look miles better. Oscar, the people have spoken, mate. You need to sort that dodgy lighting out. But yeah, hope you're all well anyway. And march on together. I didn't want this to seem like a negative video, guys. Just reading out your comments. It's going to be a tough one this weekend for me. Get your comments in the box below, and Joe will probably read it out on his Monday Night Football, as well as the comments over the weekend. He'll probably put it into one like he normally does. It's going to be a tough one for me this weekend, but you know, hopefully with our attacking firepower, which is still all there, we'll be able to outscore Bristol City. I'm going to stick with my prediction. I think it's going to be Leeds 1, Bristol City 1. Let me know in the section below, guys, what you think. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you later.